What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello and welcome to Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. I'm your regular host. It's always my joy and my delight to bring you information for your transformation. What we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. We are on the series of allergies. We've done 2 episodes on that, and today is going to be the 3rd in this series. We signed off last week by looking at common allergenic substances. Now, so today we are going to kick off by looking at the question, why are food allergies on the rise? I'm sure you know the difference by now. Food allergies, environmental allergies, seasonal allergies, chemical sensitivities, sinus, allergies, different types of allergies. But we're looking at food allergies now. Why are food allergies on the rise? Now, the Center for Disease Control in the USA, the CDC, their report of the year 2008 shows an 18% increase in food allergy among children between the years 1997 and 2007. Then another study released in 2013 by the same CDC, Center for Disease Control of the United States of America, indicates that food allergies among children actually increased approximately 50% between 1997 and 2011. That was published by, Jackson Kay and his colleagues. And then U.S. allergy symptoms is said to be, 1 in 5 people. In other words, 20% of the U.S. population experiences one symptom or the other, indicating an allergic reaction. And then allergies as chronic diseases, have been ranked number 5 in the U.S. They are 5th in ranking in terms of the incidence, how many people are affected by this particular disease. Allergies come to position number 5. And the economic costs of children's food allergies is estimated to be nearly $25 billion per year. How much it costs, to address them. Now, so because of these statistics, we now want to look at common causes of food allergies. Common causes of food allergies. Now, I've mentioned in the last episode processed foods, and that's because of the many things that they contain. Artificial colors, dyes, flavors, and what have you. And those are typically the things that provoke these allergic reactions. It is estimated that about 3,000 food additives are added to processed foods, including infant formula and food targeted at young children. 3,000 food additives, more than 3,000, in fact, in the form of, preservatives, flavorings, artificial flavors, sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, and various other ingredients. And then petrochemicals, have a potential to place a great burden on the immune system when we are exposed to them. Petrochemicals also worsen and cause allergies in their own right. and they are detrimental to long-term health. That's why in most filling stations, we call them in Nigeria, gas stations, they call them elsewhere, petrol filling stations, where people buy petrol, diesel, kerosene, and all those petrochemicals. Typically in Nigeria, we have attendants, petrol attendants, that are at the pump, and they are the ones who will dispense the petrol into your car, or dispense diesel for you, or dispense kerosene for you. And there's a lot of fume coming out from these petrochemicals. And these guys will inhale these things morning till night. That's not a good idea, okay? Because long-term inhalation can begin to affect health. Now, cow's milk. Today's cow's milk contains roughly 60 different hormones and a number of other allergens. According to Dr. Melissa A. Bartoszewski, a chiropractic doctor, she says today's milk contains roughly 60 different hormones that have been injected into the dairy cows that will produce the milk, and those hormones are found in the milk, and those hormones can then trigger allergic reactions. That's why milk is one of the hyperallergenic foods. Now, Dr. Williams Ellis, an osteopathic doctor, DO, links cow's milk to many diseases in both children and adults. And among the diseases that he lists, chronic fatigue, anemia, arthritis, cramps, obesity, heart problems, as well as allergies, which is our subject of conversation today in this series. Dr. Frank Oski was a pediatrician, a professor of pediatrics, a medical doctor, an MD. He's late now. He wrote a book titled Don't Drink Your Milk. Can you imagine a professor of pediatrics discouraging children from being given cow's milk? I've read that book, Don't Drink Your Milk, by Frank Oski, O-S-K-I, MD, O-S-K-I. He's a medical doctor. You can go on Amazon.com and just type it in. Don't Drink Your Milk, Frank Oski, and order a copy and read. I've read it, okay? He says that cow's milk has been linked, that's Professor Frank Oski, a pediatrician, that cow's milk has been linked to iron deficiency anemia, cramps, diarrhea, multiple forms of allergy, atherosclerosis, and even heart attacks. So, cow's milk and various other substances like petrochemicals, and then all the chemicals, preservatives, flavorings, sweeteners, colorings, and other ingredients, over 3,000 different additives added to food, can be a major cause of food allergies. The second one will be medications. Now, there are certain drugs, such as, even antibiotics and a few other drugs can create allergic reactions. Antiseptics like, Zitromax, for example, azithromycin. It's a macrolide antibiotic. It's used in the treatment of bronchitis, pneumonia, ear infections, and what have you. Sometimes even to treat sexually transmitted diseases, but they can cause an allergic reaction because of some of the ingredients in them. It's known for having unpleasant side effects such as skin rashes, itching, allergic or anaphylactic reactions even, and severe watery diarrhea sometimes. I also mentioned in the previous episodes in this series that vaccines can also provoke an allergic reaction. And we saw that a lot during the COVID season when COVID vaccines came out. And a few people suffered anaphylactic shock when they were vaccinated. Of course, it's not everybody that will react. It is only those who are allergic to the substances. And I identified one of the substances in those COVID vaccines that could provoke an allergic reaction. That is PEG, polyethylene glycol. Then latex can also cause allergy. It's a natural rubber found in surgical gloves. Now, since children that have spina bifida, Usually they are exposed to latex because of various surgical procedures carried on them to correct the problem. It's common for them to develop allergies to latex. It is said that up to 73% of myelomeningocele, that's patients who have birth defect in which the backbone and the spinal canal don't close, before birth, a type of spina bifida, that they have latex allergy. Now, symptoms of latex allergy could include watery eyes, wheezing as if one is asthmatic, rash and hives, life-threatening anaphylaxis for those who are very, very seriously allergic to latex in gloves. So doctors need to, avoid the use of latex gloves on patients that may be allergic to latex. They are aware, they know, but sometimes, human beings can be absent-minded. I've attended clinics in Nigeria, and I've attended, doctors' offices as well in America and in the UK. One thing I have observed in relation to this latex thing is the fact that in America, in Canada, in the UK, and a few other places like that, when I entered into the doctor's offices that I've entered into, because I go around many clinics all over the world, particularly integrative medical clinics. I visit them to know what they are doing, the services they provide, and all of that. And I've had to refer a number of people to some of those places because I know that they have the competencies and the specialties, the skills to be able to help people to recover. When I enter those doctors' offices and clinics abroad, normally you see something pasted on the wall. If you're allergic to latex, let us know. It's all over the place. You can't miss it. But I've entered into hospitals and clinics in Nigeria, and I'm not sure I have seen it more than one or two places. In most places, there is no such indication. So some people, once they just get into the hospital, the nurses, the doctors, or whoever, they just wear gloves and they're beginning to touch them without realizing that some of them could be allergic to latex. And the symptoms can be terrible. So doctors need to avoid the use of latex gloves on patients that may be allergic to latex. They have to find out from them before they begin to use latex. Now, parents too should be aware, because baby bottle nipples, pacifiers, those pacifiers that we buy for children and they keep in their mouth to keep them, to stop crying, or, balloons, they are all rubber materials that can contain latex. And latex is a very, very serious hyperallergenic substance. What about genetically modified organisms? GMOs, yes, can be hyperallergenic. Now, we need to understand that genetically modified foods, in my personal opinion, are not healthy foods. Yes, they are not. They are not. There was an article that was published on January 6, 2015, by, I think it was Vandana Shiva. Yeah, Vandana Shiva published that article, and he titled it, Setting the Record Straight on GMOs. Setting the Record Straight on GMOs by Vandana Shiva. It was published January 6, 2015. She says, the Center for Food Safety has done an excellent job of highlighting the potential risks of GMOs on human health. And the list of those potential, safety issues or risks to human health includes toxicity, allergic reactions, antibiotic resistance, immunosuppression, loss of nutrition, and even cancer. Those are potential risks of genetically modified foods on human health. And then Dr. Joseph McCullough also quoted regarding GMOs, and I quote, that the first ever lifetime feeding study evaluating the health risks of genetically engineered foods was published online on September 19, 2012, about 11 years ago. And the results are troubling, to say the least. This new study joins a list of over 30 other animal studies showing toxic or allergenic problems with genetically engineered foods, unquote, by Dr. Joseph McCullough. So GMOs, no doubt, can be hyperallergenic. So anybody who is experiencing allergic reactions should stay away from GMOs. And for me, everybody, whether you have an allergic reaction to it or not, should stay away from GMOs. No apologies. I'm very categorical about that. I've done a lot of readings and studies regarding GMOs, and I have come to that conclusion. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's my personal opinion. Now, hepatitis and dust could also be allergenic. Hepatitis is one of the secondary effects of chronic hepatitis. One of the secondary effects that chronic hepatitis can cause is something that looks like an allergic reaction. Then dust, hypersensitivity. There is a condition known as hypersensitivity pneumonitis. Yeah, hypersensitivity pneumonitis, which is also known as allergic alveolitis. Allergic alveolitis. Now, when you inhale dust, it can cause an allergic reaction in the lungs that is described as hypersensitivity pneumonitis or allergic alveolitis. I've told you before that anytime you hear the word itis in medical language, they're talking about inflammation. And they look at the organ or gland or tissue that is being inflamed. They name that organ or gland or tissue, and then they put itis at the end to show that that particular organ, gland, or tissue is inflamed. So when you hear hepatitis, that's hepa is liver. So hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. When you hear prostatitis, that's inflammation of the prostate. All right? So when we talk about alveolitis, that is inflammation of the alveoli in the lungs. All right? Okay, so inhaled dust causes an allergic reaction in the lungs. And usually this occurs in people that work in places where there is dry dust. Usually farmers or other people who work in such environments. And then another possible substance that could create allergic reactions, are tattoos, body tattoos. And so body art lovers, have complained in recorded history of experiencing allergic reactions and even scarring and phototoxic reactions, adverse reaction to light or sunlight after they got a tattoo. Depending on the type of pigment that was used on the tattoos, other complications may even happen. Now, the Foods and Drugs Administration, FDA, in the United States, at their website, warn us. The Food and Drug Administration's website actually warns about tattoo ink possibly causing infections, allergic reactions, keloids, that's formation of scar, granulomas, which is a form of inflammation as well, and potential complications, while they're receiving MRIs. That is published at the website of the FDA. No, so how do we then stem exposure to allergens at home? How do we stem exposure to these substances that can cause, number one, environmental allergen at home. When it is food allergen, that's easy. Don't eat those foods anymore. Don't take cow milk, don't take wheat products, white flour products, don't take groundnuts in particular and a few other nuts. Don't take, cow's milk, and don't take fresh corn, and don't take this, don't take. For food allergens, that's easy. Identify the hyperallergenic foods and take them out. But what about environmental allergens? That's the one I want to look at now. I'll give you a few tips. Number one, if you're buying toys for your children, choose toys made from natural materials for your kids. At least buy only those that are made from phthalate-free plastic. Once you do that, you are putting measures in place to reduce exposure to allergens at home. This will be a good place for us to go on a short break. And when I'm back, we will continue this conversation on how to stem exposure to allergens at home. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. This is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. What we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.
Welcome back. This is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. What we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. I want to give you at least 10 tips on how to stem exposure to environmental allergens at home, particularly for your children and of course for every other person in the family. I have mentioned number 1, choosing toys made from natural elements for your kids. Number 2, when you are redoing your home or renovating your home or you are making your home over, look for what they call green, toxic-free alternatives in lieu of regular paint and vinyl floor coverings. Number 3, if you have shower curtains in your home made of vinyl material, consider replacing your vinyl shower curtain with fabric, or better yet, install glass shower cubicles. That one, those ones are hypoallergenic. The vinyl is hyperallergenic. Some people will be making contact with the vinyl and they will not even know that, it is what is causing the allergic reactions. So I'm just talking about how to make your home over to minimize exposure to environmental allergens. Okay. Now, number 4, I would say switch over to natural brands of natural brands. Natural brands. In your toiletries, the toiletries that you use at home, your shampoo, your toothpaste, your cosmetics, your lotions, your body cream, your hair cream. Choose natural brands. As a matter of fact, I say to people, number 1, if you cannot pronounce the names of the ingredients on your cosmetics, don't use them. Number 2, coconut oil, shea butter. These are fantastic, cosmetics that you can use as skin lotion, hair cream, body cream, what have you. So switch over to natural brands to minimize exposure to environmental allergens. Number 5, check your home's tap water for contaminants. Then filter the water or purify the water if necessary. You may also want to use an alternative to PVC pipes for your water supply, those plastic pipes. Plastic can easily leach into substances and then into water, and that can create allergic reactions, okay? Number 6, avoid using artificial air fresheners. Sometimes I would say if somebody's having allergies in your house, avoid dryer sheets, fabric softeners, avoid them, scented candles, even scented detergents, and other synthetic fragrances and perfumes. Avoid them because they could be hyperallergenic. Number 7, I would say store your food and beverages in glass rather than plastic. Avoid using plastic wrap to wrap your food, your eba, amala, pounded yam, and such other things. Okay? Number 8, avoid processed foods as much as possible. If you're experiencing allergies or anybody's experiencing allergies in your home, avoid processed foods. Many are packaged in palate-containing packaging. And instead, focus your diet on fresh, organic, and locally grown whole foods. Number 9, Make sure if you're having babies, breastfeed your babies exclusively, if possible, for at least the first 6 months of their life to prime and program and calibrate, as it were, their immune system. Yeah. And then number 2, you are going to also avoid contaminants that can come from baby bottles, baby formula bottles and feeding bottles and other plastic materials, infant formula packaging and plastic, bottles and baby bottle nipples and what have you. Right. Number 10, if you use baby bottles, if you must use baby bottles, use glass, not plastic. 11, use only natural cleaning products in your home. Only natural cleaning products, as much as possible. And 12, teach your children not to drink water from the garden hose. When I used to live in one particular house in Lagos, we had a lot of, empty land that was not developed within our premises. So I started gardening there. Only my family was living in that, duplex, but then with a lot of space. So we grew vegetables. We grew pineapple, we grew plantain, we grew corn, we grew cassava, and, different kinds of things. And sometimes we water our vegetables, particularly in the mornings and in the evenings. And when it was time to water, my children would be struggling. They were young at that time. All of them are big guys now. Okay, they've all left home. We now have the empty nest syndrome. All right. Now, so when they were younger, 6, 10, 14, thereabout, they'll be struggling with the hose, the garden hose. It's my turn to water. It's my turn to water. It's my turn to water. And then they'll collect it, and it's fun when the family, everybody is gardening and all of that. I used to enjoy it a lot. But then, when those children are using those garden hoses to water either your flowers or your vegetables or whatever they're watering, your lawn, sometimes they drink water from the hose. So just put the hose on their face and their mouth like that. Now, many of those garden hoses are made with phthalate-containing plastics, and that can be a source of allergens. So that's the 12th key that I'm going to give you to, protect your family from having exposure to these allergens. So today, let me tie it up. We'll still have one more episode on allergies, okay? Because from the look of things and the time they are showing me now, we will not be able to cover all ground. So let me just summarize what I consider the 10 most deadly hyperallergenic foods in about 1 minute or 2, and then I'll tie it up. 10 most deadly hyperallergenic foods. Number 1, is wheat products and white flour products. If you like, call this Reverend Tony Akinyemi's list of the most deadly hyperallergenic foods that anyone exhibiting allergic symptoms should completely avoid to begin with. Even before you start finding out which of them is causing the problem, just eliminate all the 10 of them. Number 1, wheat products and white flour products. And that will include wheat meal. In Nigeria, we grind wheat into wheat flour, and then we turn it. We put hot water on fire. When the water is boiling, we pour the ground wheat inside and turn it into what we call swallow. Wheat meal. You have to avoid wheat meal, wheat bread, white flour bread, cake, biscuits, pancake, donuts, meat pie, fish roll, buns, wheat-based pasta, macaroni, spaghetti, semovita, semolina, you name it. Anything that originates from wheat or made from white flour. Please, that's the first number 1 hyperallergenic food. Now, am I saying everybody should stop eating wheat products? That's not what I have said. I haven't said so. But I'm saying that if anybody is showing an allergic reaction, symptoms of allergy, even before you find out what is provoking the allergy, I'm giving you 10 things you must eliminate. Number 2 is cow's milk and all dairy products. Any product that contains cow milk as an ingredient whether it is powdered cow milk or liquid cow milk or condensed cow milk or skimmed milk or ice cream or cheese or chocolate with milk or beverages that have cow milk as one of the ingredients, toffee, candy, you name them. That's the second thing that anybody suffering from allergies needs to eliminate. Cow milk and all products containing cow's milk. Number 3 is fresh corn, boiled or roasted. Number 4 is peanuts in particular, groundnuts, and maybe a few other nuts. Number 5 is soy products, except fermented soy products like tofu. Tofu is fine. Shellfish like clams, like periwinkle, like crabs, like shrimps, and what have you. Eggs, number 7. And then number 8 is food additives, dyes, artificial colors, artificial flavors, MSG, and what have you. Number 9 is GMO foods. And number 10, processed foods. If you take away these 10, if you have allergies, you remove wheat products, white flour products, you remove cow milk and cow milk products, you remove fresh corn, roasted or boiled, you remove peanuts and maybe some other nuts, you remove soy products except fermented soy, you remove shellfish like periwinkle, like crab, like shrimp, like clams, and so on. You remove eggs, you remove sugar, you remove food additives, artificial colors, artificial flavors, processed food, MSG, you remove all of those, processed meat, processed foods. You have solved your allergy problem more than 50%, 60-70% solved. There are a few other things that need to be done to address allergies. If it's in place, that will be the focus of our conversation next week, same time, same platform on Facebook, on YouTube. See you then, 8 p.m. on Monday, Nigerian time. I thank you for spending your time with me again today. If you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please just click on that subscribe button. Also click on that thumbs up button. Just click on it. All right. When I say people should give us thumbs up, some people will just be raising thumbs up in the chat room. We thank you for the one in the chat room, but that's not the one we are asking for. There is a thumbs up sign below this screen you are watching. Just click on that thumbs up. That's the one that we want. Okay. That helps to push our video to the fore as people are searching for information on a particular subject. It will make YouTube to, push our video to the forefront. All right, so give us a lot of thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Not in the chat room, but click on the button that has thumbs up and then share the video to your friends, particularly young families that are still raising young children. It's very, very common among young children to have, allergies, and this will be very helpful to them. I go to someplace when I was, my children were still in primary, secondary school. I go to their schools, primary school, secondary school. Every event in the school, every year, what I do is I mark my calendar, my diary, for all the school events of my children, and I don't miss any. I go for all of them. Thank God they are all good guys now. They are all graduates now. Okay, so when I do, I see children with allergies. And sometimes I feel like just, pulling them and say, who are your parents? Who are your parents? Are they here? I want to talk to them, so I can share this thing. So if you know families like that, just, if you don't know what to say to them, just share this video. And it will inform them and it will help them so that our young people in particular will escape all the sufferings and discomfort and inconveniences of an allergic reaction. Thank you. Have a beautiful week ahead. I love you. Bye.
Meet Emily. She is passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is survivable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to live a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.